Round number 9 of 45th Chess Olympiad being held in Budapest right now, and we got a drama. That's why you see Vladimir Kramnik on the thumbnail. So the thing is, Vladimir Kramnik is the captain of Team Uzbekistan, and before the game, or throughout the game, he asked the fair play team to get the phones out of the board. So Chess Base India, led by Shagar Shah, put the phones so they can film the games. And Vladimir didn't like it. He said they can transmit some information to them. So, guys, don't blame Kramnik, alright? Because, look, it's really not that good that, alright, they have some, iPhones in the hall and, they only film Indian players. So, yeah, he has the whole right to do it. And, yeah, the phones were checked, everything is fine. I'm not sure if it costs any, psychological advantage to Team Uzbekistan, because it could shake Indian guys, but nothing happened as we look at the game played between Gukesh and Nodirbek on board 1 of this matchup. So we got the Najdorf, very interesting move A4, not going for main line with Bishop E3 or Bishop C4, how we did played yesterday. So, the day before. Knight F3, Bishop E7, G3. So A4, G3, kind of boring system. And, throughout the whole game, neither of the side could take advantage. Bishop E6, Bishop G2, Knight C6, Castle, Rook E1, Queen C8, Bishop B3, Bishop D8, and there is absolutely nothing white can do or black can do. Of course, blunders can always happen, but players were playing pretty solid. Knight D5, Bishop D8, and at this point they got two bishops. This bishop can potentially go to B6 and attack F2 pawn, maybe take at some point, get this opposite colored bishop middle game. But instead, trying to get two bishops, Queen D7, A5, Bishop C7, Knight D2, B6, takes. Now Bishop is on B6. Yeah, there is slight weakness on A6, but in reality I think after some A5 this will be pretty solid, and not necessarily have to play A5, but at some point maybe even this, and press B2 pawn. So Knight C4 takes, and A5 is played. Bishop F1, Rook B8, attacking B2, Queen D2, Queen C7, and now B4. And now black get rid of the A5, kind of, small weakness, takes. And players got to the end game, Knight A7, Knight A3, Knight C2, Knight A7, Knight F3, Knight C6, Knight C2. So yeah, little drama in the beginning, but, all the games finished in a draw. Erigazi could have won the game. And then there was, I believe, board 2 could also end, with some other results. So, yeah, overall, all the players were not really risking, and Team India makes it first draw in this tournament, and Team Uzbekistan is getting closer. It's still 2 points away to catch up. But let's see how the other matches went. Let's get to the US versus Hungary. US was playing Team Hungary, and guys, Team US has all these veterans, while Team India has, this very young team. And I think in this tournament, this energy that these young guys have actually keeps them, more competitive. Because look, the old guys are just, not playing their best, and it can seem by the results. So, and once again, we got the Najdorf on the board. Gukesh played A4, but Linier goes for something more, aggressive, which is Bishop E3 mainline, E5, Knight B3. Actually, I have seen Linier playing this, a while ago. There was a US chess championship. I know sometimes I do what, that's just a tip to you. You know what I do? I put the position on the actual chessboard, I turn on the engine, and then, start moving the pieces as grandmasters move. And then what I do, I just basically try to understand what they're trying to do and find the best move. So I think that's a very, good task. I remember because, once I was watching linear games, I think he ended up actually winning that one, even though I'm not sure. But yeah, it's actually a good task. You know, you turn on the engine and you try to find the best move from each side. Even here, you know, in the opening, what moves to consider, what are the lines, and so on and so forth. Bishop e7, f3, bishop e6, queen d2, castle, castle, knight d7, g4. So now white go for kingside attack, very common idea in this bishop e3 system. That's why, let's say, in my files, I think in Nanishkiri's course, castle is something that is being suggested. But I usually continue, even without, yeah, you see he plays bishop e7 first. Because what I do here is I play bishop e6 and let's say f3, threaten g4, I play h5 with black pieces to avoid this g4. Of course, at some point h3, g4 still will follow, but by that time, you know, you will at least develop. But, you know, what we could see is g4, and now black go for b5. And once again, I mean, it's a solid approach, and there are crazy lines g5 before, which happened in the game. I actually analyzed this position for a while, because with white, with black, because, you know, I was once preparing for some guy, and I was like, what's going on here? I think I was watching some game of Alexei Sarana, and it was insane. Knight e8, f4, a5, f5. So now it comes down, I mean, fireworks. It's a great game, guys. It's what Najdorf's system is all about. I mean, it's just an insane game, because here it all comes down to who is faster, black on queen side or white on king side. So a4 takes. So you might say, why not take on d7? Because b takes a2 and queen is being promoted, you gotta be careful. And if with jack, I mean, doesn't really matter here, because, you know, rook a2. So this takes king e1, and now rook sacrifice. And this rook sacrifice actually is, you know, kind of good, because let's say king a2 is played, queen a8, king b1, queen f4. So yeah, it's rook sacrifice, but in reality, I mean, you take it back. So queen d3, queen h1, bishop h3, and then queen c6. So very, very complicated, but at the same time very, very interesting. So bishop h3, and now black played rook a5. So according to computer, the best move is queen a5, sacrificing this pawn on e6, and after bishop e6, king h8. Let's say bishop d7 is played, there is rook a1, king c2, queen c7, knight c3, rook d1, queen d1, and queen d7. And actually, black are completely fine. But Sanan Sugirov played rook a5. After bishop e6, king h8, knight g3, even though computer thinks queen b4 is a better move. Knight g3 is not a bad move as well, bishop c4. And now it looks like more or less white stabilized. You know, at some point they might go, you know, maybe king c2 and even go, you know, rook a1. Queen a8, rook f1, takes, rook a1. King c2, rook f1, bishop f1, and now d5. And at this point it looked like probably, you know, black's gonna be fine. d5 is very, very useful in Sicilians, especially when you're playing black pieces. d5 is usually the key idea of the opening, especially in Najdorf. g6, h4, queen f8, takes, and we got to the following endgame, where white have two bishops against two knights and bishop. Bishop h3, takes, and guys, this is an open position. In open positions, bishops usually prevail. You know, in close positions, you know, knight can use their, you know, jumpiness to attack all the squares, but at this point, you know, those bishops here are just really, really annoying. They can protect everything, they can attack everything, so it's very tough to protect those endgames. h6, king d3, takes, and slowly Linier was outplaying his opponent. And now key mistake by black pieces, knight e3, as now white can simply take on b4, takes, knight h4. But unfortunately, even though, you know, it looks like double pawn, actually one pawn, and black have two pawns, but they can't save the game because the pawn is just too strong. And now the idea is king g5, there is b6, and guess what? These knights are too far away from this pawn. Because let's say knight f5, there is bishop a6, or I don't know, bishop e4, knight d4, b7, knight d6, king d6, and this pawn promotes next move. So king e7, b6, king d7, bishop c6, king c8, knight e6. Now knight jumps to the action, and of course at some point it will deliver some checkmate ideas. b7, king b6, and here black simply resign because they have no defense. Let's say knight e3, trying to give check. b3, quiet move first. We're not rushing with anything, because look, we could play knight c5, it's still winning, but play simple b3 to avoid this check, to avoid, I mean, this bishop covers d5 square. If knight goes here, knight c5, and now knight d7 or knight a6, gonna follow with the checkmate. And after king b6, black admitted their loss, and Team USA won the match 2.5 to 1.5. Fabi defended a very tough position against Rapport, and I mean, not tomorrow because I'm filming in the evening, but today as you're watching this video, US is playing Team India. But we'll get back to it. But now let's take a look at the game in Norway versus Slovenia match. Let's go. And I think big surprise came in the match between Norway and Slovenia. And we will take a look at the game between Vladimir Fedoseev and Magnus Carlsen. So, I always compare Team Norway to, Team Argentina in soccer. I mean, I don't want to call it soccer, but, some people, American people watch it. So, I mean, I call it football. Alright, so Lionel Messi had a lot of troubles winning the World Cup with Team Argentina. That was the only trophy he didn't win. And, he was very successful doing it last time. And, I'm always looking at Magnus. Look, he won everything. And I mean, yeah, he is the greatest of all time. Probably. But, he can't win a trophy with his team Norway. Especially, look, this guy's freaking motorcycle, room. Dumb idiots. Alright. So Magnus, yeah, he's having trouble in team events specifically, and he didn't win an Olympiad yet, and I don't think he will. So he was playing against Vladimir Fedoseev with white pieces, and right away we got a very interesting position. And as soon as I saw this, alright, let's go for it. This. Alright, I'm just showing you something that could, happen in some, other universe. This. I mean, some nonsense, alright? How Dubov and Nepo went. So, e4, knight f6, of course, team event, very serious, not like this World Rapid and Blitz Championships. e5, takes, knight f5, king d1, knight c6. So, at this point, Magnus is known to get something from nothing. And, he is known to play this kind of endgames and, just take the soul out of his opponent. So, bishop g5, knight g4, and it looks like it might happen in this game as well. But I didn't even saw the whole game, so it will be interesting for me to, experience this, as probably some of you didn't see it. So stay tuned till the end. So long castle. Now once again, this bishop is not developed yet. White have active bishop, which is pointing towards a7 pawn. Knight might be able to, get to b5, attacking a7, or get to e4, making it super powerful. So rook d1, takes, and in my perspective, Vladimir Fedoseev was probably trying to, go for some kind of draw at this point, but he plays very smartly. He first plays h4, gets his rook h5 square, and now attacks f5. King f4, rook g5 threatening g2 pawn, rook g1, g6, and after bishop h4, g takes f5, king d5, rook g6, king e6. So at this point, it seemed like, alright, why have a very active king? There are no checkmates or whatsoever. King is ready to go to f5, so bishop c5 is played. Rook h1. So what if king f5? Attacking the rook, right? But no, knight e7. You gotta, you know, learn danger levels. First attack the king. Now king has to go back for e4, and then bishop g1, king e7, and black are simply winning because they're simply up an exchange. So rook h1 first, knight e4, king g5, and now b6. And look, yeah, Magnus kinda walked his king, but now he has some problems with the king side. And now plays f4, king g7, and plays g4. And after g4, Vladimir Fedoseev had mind-blowing knight c2 move. After g takes f4, this Magnus can't take because knight f3 or knight b4 is a checkmate. But you know, he didn't see it. He plays after g4, takes, and now knight e4. Knight f3, knight c5, b takes c5, bishop g3, rook d6, king c5, rook d2. Now keeping an eye on this pawn, still, you know, keeping an eye on h2 pawn as well. Rook c1, king s6, and again, rook c1 apparently is a very bad move. And you know, you make this move and you don't really realize like why it's bad. You know, I can't even see why it's bad. Yeah, you kinda, you know, basically remove a defender from this pawn, you don't defend this pawn. Like, what, Magnus, what are you doing? King e6, rook c4, king f5, rook a4, and now takes on h2, rook a7, and now Magnus has two passed pawns on queen side. But these two pawns are far more advanced, which gives black the advantage. a4, rook c2, king b5, g3, rook g7, king f2, a5, rook b2, king c6, rook a2, king b6, a4. So at some point black might just sacrifice this rook for a pawn and promote one of these pawns. a6, a3, and the game ends in a very beautiful manner, as after king c1, rook c7, king b1, Magnus simply resigns. He's not able to stop both pawns. If rook 7 there is g2, and if rook g7 trying to take this, e1 queen wins the game. So Vladimir Fedoseev won the game, Team Slovenia won the match, and I think Team Norway almost loses chances for any medals. I mean, even before the tournament I didn't really see an opportunity for them, so let's take a look at the standings after round number 9. Let's get to it. So, Team India. Guys, Team India is playing US as you're watching this video. And I'm sorry for all my Indian fans, but I just want to make it more interesting for the last round. I don't mind them winning, but I just want to, you know, have this, you know, intrigue in the last round. So I really want Team United States of America to win the match against India. I mean, as I'm recording this video, I don't know what's gonna happen, so for some of you, you may roast me right now, because maybe Gukesh won against Fabi, like he did in the previous Olympiad, or was it Prague? I don't even remember, but alright, this match is gonna be something else. Then Team Uzbekistan is playing Team China. You know why I wanted to make it interesting? Because look, if Uzbekistan or China, if one of the teams, they don't draw but they win against one another, then the United States might win against India, and we'll have 3 teams before the final round with 17 points. And that's gonna be insane. Then we have, of course, Slovenia, Ukraine, Serbia, Hungary, Armenia, 14 points. And then we have a bunch of teams. Team Norway, I mean, yeah, they probably lost all the chances for third place, because there are just a bunch of teams that are just enjoying last few days in Budapest. And of course, it's kind of, you know, disappointing that you end the tournament, you know, so early. But let's see what happens in last rounds this weekend. I'll see you tomorrow after round number 10. Enjoy your weekend. Bye bye.